Let's add a block entity renderer to our block entity. Alright, we find ourselves back in the tutorial once more, and in this tutorial we're going to be adding a block entity renderer to our block entity. So this is going to be very interesting indeed. If you remember the way that the block entity looks like, there's a little bit of a tray in the middle of the block entity. And what I basically want to do is when there is an item inside of this slot, I want to display that. And when there's an item in this slot, I want to display that one. So just like rendering it in the world, so when you look at the block, you can see what item is in there at the moment. That is really awesome, and it actually isn't too crazy to implement. So in our entity package, we're going to right-click new package called client. And then inside of there, we're going to make a new Java class. And this is going to be the gem infusing station block entity renderer. Absolutely not a crazy name for a class at all. It's just going to be an interesting one. And this will implement the block entity renderer of type gem infusing station block entity. We'll hover over this, implement the render method over here. Very important that we have this. And then we'll also need a public gem infusing station block entity renderer constructor with, and this is also very important, block entity renderer factory that context, called context over here, as its parameter. This is extremely important. Make sure that this is done correctly. Well, and then what we'll do is the render method. This is basically where all the magic happens. Let's first of all get the first few lines over here, and then I will explain. The first thing that's going to happen is we're going to see that we don't have a getRenderStack method inside of our, block entity. So that is what we're going to create right now in the gem infusing block entity. And we're just going to take this and actually move it up all the way. I want this like, fairly high up. Let's just actually put this below the inventory. It doesn't really matter where it is. Let's be honest. As long as you find your way through your block entities, you're going to be totally fine. So the getRenderStack method, what is this going to do? Well, I'm just going to copy over the contents because they are pretty much self-explanatory. The general idea is that if the second slot here, so this slot right here, is empty, we're going to just return the contents of the first slot. And if it's not empty, then we're going to return the second slot. That's literally all it does. It just basically, gets the contents of these slots. Now, the issue with this is, however, the following, and this is really the big thing. These are not going to be available on the client unless we open it up or we, once again, do some custom networking to actually synchronize this. So once again, we will need a custom packet over here. Once again, it will be copied over, and once again, it is, as always, available to you in the description below. GitHub repository and individual just as well. You can see we just need a set inventory method. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to create that method and move it all the way up. We don't need to move it all the way up, but let's just be, we're just going to be fine here. There you go. So the set inventory method literally just goes through the inventory that we're having here, right? So this particular, that's actually going to be called inventory. There you go. So we're going to basically get the size of the inventory over here and then just loop through and setting each of the different contents here for, basically the client, right? So this is literally just needed so that we set this for the client. This is always only called on the client as it is always only called right here. Let's register the packet as well. So this is going to be the item sync, and this is going to be called the item sync. Oh, item sync like this though. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. And this is then the item sync. And this is the item stack sync S to C packet. There you go. So that is now registered, and that is fine. That is okay. And we can now basically call this. Now the question is, where do we call this? Because the inventory doesn't really have a method over here. It's just a list. You could, of course, make a wrapper and do something like, where you change this. But what we can just do is we can just override the markDirty method and use that instead. So we're going to just use the markDirty method, and we're just going to say, hey, if that is like, if we're not on the client, right? So this is actually very important. Then what we're just going to do is we're just going to get the size of the inventory. We're going to write all of the item stacks in there. We're going to get the position, and then we're just going to send the item sync packet over here. And then just in case, we're also going to make sure that we call super markDirty, just in case, there's any other stuff that needs to be done. I think that does make a lot of sense. So now, of course, on final commits and stuff like that with the energy, then this will also be called, but I think that's totally going to be okay, and I think that's going to be fine. So now after this is synchronized, we have access to the stack that we're going to render. Now overall, this is pretty much just, more or less trial and error, where I just tried out a bunch of scales, a bunch of translations, like the position basically, and then just rotating around in a certain degree. Then we have a switch. This is going to look like this. So basically, depending on the facing over here, we're just making sure that the actual item itself rotates with the block. That's literally all that this does, nothing too crazy. And then we just want to render the item and then pop the matrix stack. And we also need to get the light level over here. That is just a custom method that it just makes sure that the light, the actual item, when it is rendered, isn't like black or dark. Right, and last but not least, we just need to register this in the tutorial mode client class. That's going to be the block entity renderer registry, actually. This one right here, dot register, passing in mod block entities dot gem infusing station, and then the gem infusing station block entity renderer new. And that is going to be everything that we need for this to work. That's literally all that there is to it. All of the code is always in the description below. Get up a repository individual gist as well. So let's go into the game and see if it works. Alright, friends, let's back in Minecraft again. So let's just see. Let's just put a raw tanzanite in here, and there we go. We can actually see it render right here. That's perfect. And now it turns into a, well, normal tanzanite. That's exactly what you would expect, basically. So this slot takes precedent, right? So basically, there you go. And then it turns into the other one. So if you take this out, you can see it always uses this slot if there's nothing in this slot. This is already really awesome, and I can tell you block entity renderers can do all sorts of crazy things, right? The render method is basically where all the magic happens, and I mean, this is really cool, and it just adds this little bit more detail, like a tiny touch to your block entities that are just going to look absolutely stunning. But that's going to be it for this tutorial right here. I hope you found this useful and you learned something new, and I'll see you all in the next tutorial. So, yeah.